There's an old sand. Some days it's not fun to be a mechanic. I don't know who the original author of that statement is. Of course, it could all be false too. However, here we are. I gotta dim that light. There we go. Working on a Toyota. Don't know what year. It's a Tacoma. I think a 03 probably. It's got the big 2.7. Needs a rear wheel bearing. Actually, it needs the wheel bearing on the other side. This bearing is okay. For whatever reason, the feller wants to do both of them. So I said, hey, whatever. Only adds about another 3 hours and however many hundreds of dollars this bearing is from Toyota, plus a speed sensor. So it's quite an expensive job to do. It's not for the faint of heart, nor is it really for the DIY, to be honest with you. Well, I guess it could be. It could be for the DIY. DIY is unlikely to have the tools to press the bearing on and off. You need a little more than your conventional, just, shop press. There's this silly contraption that you bolt on. I've done it without them, and it ain't fun. I'll tell you that. I'm gonna pinch out this brake hose over here to keep it from peeing on the ground. All right, so we're just gonna kind of chip away at this thing. You've got to unhook the brake line. Now we've got to unhook the axle here, or start unbolting it. Now I've already sprayed this thing down, and I'm gonna work on it right here out of frame where you can't see crap. However, there's 4 bolts on here. They're all the same. 4 nuts rather. So we'll get these all cracked loose. We'll unhook the speed sensor. We've got to get the parking brake cable off. And I guess depending on where you live and the condition of your Toyota is how much extra stuff you're gonna need from the dealer. Now when I do these, I get the bearing and the speed sensor, because you'll never get that out. And depending on how bad it is, you might need a wheel cylinder, you might need the backing plate, you might need the parking brake cable, the brake line. Anyhow. Over right here, let's try to unhook the speed sensor. You can't get in on the release tab, can you? Usually anytime I touch that release tab in there, they break. So I try to just come out here very gingerly, just like that. Save the embarrassment of breaking it, so that's unhooked. We're gonna leave one of the nuts on. It don't matter which one, just at this point, leave one of them on. I'm gonna have to remove some of the springs here from the brakes. So keep track of those and where they go. I'm thinking we only got to take one side off. Could be wrong. I've been wrong before. And if you're not sure how this goes together, take a picture of it. Or don't tear apart the other side, assuming the other side is put together correctly, that is. That would be my suggestion. So what we're trying to get at here, I think we got to take both sides off. What we're trying to get at here is right here, the parking brake cable. That's the thing that we're after here. So we'll let that kind of dangle. Open this little guy up. Just grab a hold over here. Talk to it nicely. Get that baby out of there. Probably should take this off there too. So let me go set these to the side. We do have to pull both sides off because we've got to get to the bolts that hold the parking brake cable on. There she is. There she is. Sometimes it's not worth the time to try to save time. By that I mean if stuff's in your way, get it out the way. Where's the rest of our star adjuster? Oh, okay, it's still up there. I mean, you can leave some of this crap together if you want to. That's what we need to get to is those. Now, they're probably not going to come out. They go into aluminum. Does that scare us, though? A little bit. I use one of our RBRT sockets. Is that what they're called, right? RBRT. These things are usually kind of crusty. Clanker right up on there. Did we bring a 1/4-inch ratchet? Oh, sure. Now don't go hammering on these. She feels tight. It's torch time, baby. Now if you already bought a new park and brake cable, just snap them off. We want a very gentle heat. Oh, you can only go so gentle with your tip. Come on, baby. You know what I want. Oh, I want to turn on the torch tanks. That's what I want. Hey, look at that. Makes them work 100 times better. Don't get nasty. That's a very tiny tip. We're just going to heat up that aluminum while holding tension on it. Oh, I feel something. Oh, I feel it. It don't feel good. Nope, she's gonna break. So we're gonna back that one back off because she's just gonna snap. I'll tell you right now. Maybe not. Let me see. No, maybe not. No, it's all good. It's all good. It's all good. Look at that. See, I told you. Gotta trust yourself a little. Alright. There's that. Let's see. That one's loose anyways. Let's see if we can get up on this other one. That one's tight too. See if we can heat her up here a little. That's right, baby. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. So we'll take this one all the way out. So there's one. Looks like it didn't pull all the threads, so that's good. We'll give this one a little too, because that one started getting kind of tight. Let's see if we can't snug it back up just a little. Might have got real tight. Nope. Alright, so it wants to snug. You can run it out here. These things are weird. Just, you know, in a minute, you're like, yeah, I'm doing good. You think, hey, we're friends. Everybody's happy. Boom, head snaps off. So there's both of them babies. We'll set them to the side. And then, very gingerly, set our torch to the side. Let's see if we can give her one of these. Give her a little hooty daddy. Let's see here. Just wanna. Here we go. You're gonna crack loose and you're gonna wiggle them right out of there. There we go. So that's, like I say, this is a really stupid design. These things are aluminum down here, or aluminium, and everything gets corroded and crappy in them. And oftentimes, just did some on a RAV4 the other day. The cable likes to snap off right under this housing. And this truck is a stick shift. And this cable is good. You can feel it still sliding through there. So these cables do get used on this vehicle. So that nut that I told you to keep on there, that one, take it off now. And then if you got the slide hammer out, stick it on there. If not, we're gonna just give her a little tap on the back of this bearing. Oh, you know what? We better get a tray, because it's gonna PPO. There should come out pretty easy. Boom. And there it is. There is your wheel bearing on your Toyota. We'll go set this right here under. We're going to change this seal. Also, pop that out of there with the bar of crying. Baby. Throw that on the ground. And then, should be an O-ring. Yeah, we got an O-ring here. We did not get a new O-ring, so we're going to have to reuse this. Not a big deal. Everybody just calm down. We'll get all the crusty crap off it. Down there. Let's see here. So we'll set aside. This all needs to be cleaned up also. So I tell you what. Let's set the O-ring right there. Take our rag. We don't want to get a bunch of junk down the tube. Let's kind of stick that there for a false sense of security. We want a little better false sense. There we go. There's that. We're going to whizzy wheel that up real quick. Who would have thunk, huh? Did we get all the little rust flakes off the O-ring? Now we'll reinstall our slightly used O-ring. Stick that back up on there. Like I said, it's not a huge deal if you forget it. Let's get a seal. We got our seal directly from Toyota. Now that seal does go in and bottom out, so we'll just use a disc and make sure she starts evenly. Feels pretty solid, pretty flush all the way around, and the spring didn't pop off, so that's good. Make some room on the workbench or your cart. Kind of push stuff. Well, actually, we don't need that, so we'll stick that back on the bottom shelf. This we probably don't need. Look at this. Why do we got 2 screwdrivers? I think we're in good shape. Probably don't need these anymore. Stick them down, and then grab your wheel bearing. Step 2. Now you got step 1 done. Step 2. You gotta remove the snap ring. Now these things can be a son of a mother. Or piece of cake, like this one. So there's the snap ring. So that's what that thing looks like. Take that out. Don't lose it. Don't lose it at all. Now, this is where we need a very specialized tool. Party. Welcome to my press party. See if we can get up in there. Come back down, mother lover. So there's that. Now the idea is we're going to press the axle. The monstrosity of the tool here is going to hold the bearing. We're going to push the axle and the axle retainer right off. Now some guys will cut the lock ring prior to pressing on them. I have found if it's got a lock ring or ABS ring, I got another tool to get off the ABS ring like on the Nissans. Because this is a universal tool. Don't waste your money on the Toyota specific one. Or buy them off the tool truck or like the OTC ones. Those are very expensive. And they only do one make. This does Toyota, Nissan. Well, Toyota and Nissan are the biggest ones. You know, you do Tundras and Tacomas and all that stuff and the Titans. Anything with that front loading style rear end. So let's see here. All right, we'll stand back so it doesn't explode. It's gonna scare us a little bit. Gets me every time. Is she going now? I think so. Pump it a little harder. Yeah, baby. Give it a little what for? Oh, we're gonna make it. It's when it gets real quiet, you won't be worried, Josh. And maybe start looking for another job. There. Easy peasy. So, well, kind of. So now, hold on, everything should be apart. There's our axle we pushed off. Still got to get the inner race out, which that's another job in and of itself. If you're doing a press, put a piece of wood on the floor so when she hits, you're okay. And then here's our bearing. Oops, it's up in here. There's part of our lock ring. We should have another washer. Yep, there it is. It should be concaved or convexed, I guess, depends on which side you're looking at, right? So you'll figure it out which way that goes. Stick them on the axle just so we don't lose them. And let's go back to our regular scheduled program. There that is. Now I'll go put this back on the shelf of the tools you hardly ever use. Shelf, I guess. We got to get the studs out. I don't know if this little guy will do it or not. Whole toolbox full of tools, fella. Hey, look at this. You ain't a mechanic unless you got a waffle face claw hammer kicking around. Well, that escalated quickly. That's how you want to be, huh? You turkey. Hasn't even budged. Probably should go use one of the benches in the shop, but yeah, freaking mother. Your waffle face does a number on it. So there is that. Be mindful of the direction of the speed sensor, aka which way is it facing. All right, so in relationship to the backing plate, this one is facing to the rear of the vehicle, so that's something to be mindful of, because the last thing you want to do is get this all put together and find out, guess what, you did it wrong, dude. Let's see here. Song I made up. That's good. We won't worry about cleaning up the rest of this poo until we get it on the vehicle. We just needed that shine. We need to get the seal out of there. So we'll come over here to the world's worst parts washer and see if we can't. Whoa, hang on, fella. Let's see if we can get this little splasher out here. Get that out of there first. We've got some room to work with here. I hate this parts washer with a passion. Just FYI. I like CRC brake clean, but their parts washer sucks. Aussie juice horse crap, New York compliant garbage. This seal's all part of the bearing. We just want to be able to get underneath that race. Come on, man. Come on, man. Let's see here. See, that's tough one. There, gosh. Gosh golly gee whiz. There's that. Now, get to that spring. There we go, cut the spring. Look at that. Throw this stuff in the garbage. I don't know what I don't know. It's probably, if we bang that out, we don't want to bust up the seal surface there. That's probably going to catch that enough to pull that off. Let's go have a gander. Could get real stupid. It's not a bad idea if it works. Winner, winner, baby.